Welcome back to Rickard Forge. So today I'm going to actually try and make a new product or a new item. So I'm going to try to make a turtle. And I've never done this before, so bear with me. I'm going to go ahead and plan it out, do a quick sketch up. I kind of have the idea in my head how I'm going to go about and make this item, and I thought I'd just bring you along. Alright, so I have this piece of scrap metal that I'll be using. So it's 2 inches by 1/8, and the length is about, I'd say about a foot. So this is going to be ultimately my template. So all right, so my idea was to actually cut the turtle out in two dimensions, and then fold it over where the tail is to get that 3-dimensional look. You'll see what I mean when I do it. So as far as the head, I'm actually going to extend it out a little bit more than looks natural, because I'm going to end up bending this inside the shell, from inside the shell. So I'll go ahead and kind of get that shell, which is, it's going to start out as a basically just a big circle. Alright, so got the shell. Now I'm gonna cut one leg. Now I'm making these longer than they should be. That way they could tuck and bend under. The same thing on this side. And then same thing on the back. And then alright, so these legs are longer than obviously they should be on a normal turtle. This thing's looking kind of goofy, but it'll come together. Alright, so the tail is going to be the joint. So I'm going to keep that thick, or thicker, I should say. And I'm going to bend it over right there. So I need about the same. And then the bottom of the shell. Kind of extend that out. Is this pen dying on me? Okay, so alright, so what I'm gonna end up doing is folding that over where the tail is, and then the bottom will end up coming. And then I'll clamp, or not clamp, but I'll tuck these under. And for the shell, I'm actually gonna hammer it out. So I'm gonna actually cup the shell so it has dimension, and then I'll just take either a chisel or it's most likely going to be a chisel, but I'll go ahead and just chisel in some markings, and then same with the feet. And then as for the tail, I'm going to end up tapering it down, so the tail will basically alright, so I never did this before. This is all just sketch planning. If it ends up turning out relatively neat, I might make it a product line. It is quite a bit of metal to actually make this item, though. So let's go ahead and I'll transfer this over. I'll get it cut out, and then we'll go ahead and heat it up and see what we can do. Alright, so I went ahead and drilled out these areas where I couldn't get the bandsaw in, and I'm going to go ahead and chisel them out. Get safety glasses on. Wearing my contacts today. So, one thing, if you blacksmith as a hobby, or any type of blacksmithing, make yourself a hold fast. They're the absolute best. I think that's one of the best tools I made. It's just an extra arm. Helps you hold your work. This one's going all the way through. There we go. Also put a scrap plate underneath, that way I don't dig into my hammer. Whoop! Blacksmiths out there that do really detailed chisel work, and my hat goes off to them. lot of people that are making locks or a lot of detailed work cut into the metal. Gotta have a lot of patience to do that. Or also engraving. That goes right along the line. Alright, so I'm gonna go ahead and just actually, believe it or not, yeah, I'll probably just grind those out. I was contemplating whether to just leave those edges in, but now that I think about it, it's probably not a good idea. Those jagged edges. Yeah, I'll just grind. Well, yeah, I'll just grind those out. Alright, so also grind out this part, which is actually the tail, which is going to get folded over. Alright, and that's his head, even though it doesn't look like much of a head. I'm actually going to round out the front. So I'll be right back after I use a grinder. Okay, so here we go. Went ahead and did a rough grind. I kept a lot of the roughness on there still. I just wanted to get the little stuff that was kind of tucked away in these insides from the drilling. Alright, so what I'm going to do is use my ball peen hammer and hammer it into the depression right here to go ahead and get that cup. Once I get that cup, I'm going to bend over the appendages, bend them out as well. So I'm going to bend them under, kind of like a little S shape, to tuck them under and then have them come out. And then last, this is where the tail is. I'll bend this over to hide those little underneath parts. This will be the bottom of the shell. And then taper this so it looks more like a tail. And then give the head a little more detail. Right now it just looks like a point. So that's 1/8 material. It's not too thick, but I mean, for doing this type of work, it should work good. Alright. I'm gonna have one leg shorter than the other. It's alright. That's the best thing about working on organic items, is it doesn't have to be perfect. It's a turtle. Alright, I'm pretty sure there's turtles out there with 6 legs and 3 eyes, or just 1 eye, or maybe they have a couple conjoined turtles out there. So I'll go ahead and get this heat up in the forge, and then I'll go ahead and get that shell made. give this turtle a shell. Get it out of the whole head. Got it. Alright, here we go. It's working. It's so goofy looking. Ah, look at it. Ah, I'm gonna get. Alright. Give it another heat and stretch it out a little more. And then I'll tuck the appendages under. I don't know why I find this so funny, but it is coming together. So, as far as these appendages, trying to get them tucked under. This is going to be an interesting what I gotta do with these appendages is kind of do an S shape underneath. So I'll bend them over, hammer them down, and then flap them out. That way it gives that shell an edge on both sides. So that way it gives it an edge. Right there. Same with the head. I'm gonna go ahead and do the same thing with the head. Alright, so heat it up, bend them down, and see how it works out. Alright, there we go. Get it on that lip edge. Somewhat work. Now I'm going to do the head, the other one, and then bend them out. That way they have that, has that illusion of they're tucked under from the shell. So I'll heat it up just enough. It's like this might or might not work. Right now it's looking like something like an alien or something. Let's get those lips bent over. Throw that back in there. So this is an experiment. Have not done this before. Whether it turns out good or not, I'm still gonna share this with it. I'm hoping it turns out good. It should turn out good. It's just the fact of getting those legs bent over. And there's always opportunity to alter a piece. Even if it's not looking the greatest, you can always get it to where you kind of want it. Alright, so use my scroll cons. Lift it up. Chisel over there. Yeah. It's gonna have to be done. Pull it up a little bit more with the chisel. Bend it over with the scroll tong. And then hammer it down flat. So I just have little nubs sticking out. And then I'll finish up the back end. Might work. Oh, it's so awkward. Let's see. It's almost there. Worst comes to worst, I can cut the legs to size and just leave them without tucking them under. Might not look as aesthetically pleasing as having them tucked under and coming out. But is tucked under. It's just not extending out. See if I can save this. Special turtle. Yeah, folds it out. Kind of works. So the problem I'm running into is I cut these legs too thick, so I'm not able to open it. Now I can always pull it back out and draw them out skinnier, which actually might be a good idea. Try that. All right. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and draw that out so it's skinnier and longer. Do the same thing on all the other feet. This has turned into something else. Wasn't it? Alright. Don't take long for this to. One thing I like and enjoy about working with metal is it's very forgiving. If you're messing up and you know you're messing up, you can always go back and correct it. Now, the only thing is you got to be careful when you go back to correct something to make sure that you're not going to give it stress breaks. All right, so go ahead and do that to the head and another arm, and I'll just pre-do it to these other appendages as well. Actually, before I do it to the other appendages, let me just see how nice it actually works out with this one that I just did. Alright. Here we go. Go to Tilt the camera up a bit. I mean, it's a skinny leg, but hey, this is gonna be a very interesting turtle. Okay. Go ahead and do the next one. Go ahead and do all the legs. Okay. Put on turbo mode. Look at him struggling. Oh man, heating up his legs. I'm gonna go ahead and thin them out like I did the front ones, or at least one. Okay. After that, I'll bend them over, and then bend that underside. I should have something that is turtle resemblance. Alright, get back to it. Okay, so went ahead and I got it to the point where I like how the feet are. I mean, the feet are a little organic, I would say, but I like the way they sit. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna fold over the end, bottom piece, and then I'm most likely gonna use my Dremel to put in the markings. That way, give it more of a realistic look. So, go ahead and bend over this tail, and then I'm going to turn it into a taper. Actually, it looks like a turtle. Alright. Just Alright, here we go. Turtle, you're on your back. Turtle on his back, he's down. The tail actually looks like more of a head than the head. Yeah, I think I'm gonna use the tail as the head, and then that little squiggle as the tail. It just looks better. My nightmares are coming to fruition. Is it a turtle or some kind of creature? I couldn't put these in production because that was going to happen all the wild looking ram's head turtle. Alright. So I'm gonna fix this up a bit, take some of these edges off of the head. Or at least attempt to. Alright. I'll heat it up one last time. Heat it up one last time to bend these up a little bit so it's a little less. I can bend the head up too. It's kind of sitting cool. And you know, when I put the lines in for the shell, it's going to define where the legs. I'll define the actual shell. Bend this head up just slightly. Sometimes they don't come out as planned. And just work with it. So this is more of just a creative thing. Like I said, if I was to do this in production, I wouldn't get any work done. Lined up. to get that tail lined up. Continues to just stay off to the side. Oh, I'm having a lot of fun here. This is the best part about blacksmithing. Just having fun. And you know, at the end of the day, the project that you make is not exactly what you would think is great. Someone else may look at it and say, wow, that's amazing. Turtle. Alright. Good, good. And then brush. Where did you go? Okay, so here's some of the details cut into this Dremel. Show you the finished product. Okay, so here we go. Here is the finished product. Now there's one thing that I would do differently, and I am going to attempt this again, and I will make it corrected. But next time I do this, I'm going to put the legs on the lower piece. Even though it looks cool when you turn it upside down, it looks like the legs are coming out of the actual shell. When you turn it over to look at the top, they kind of it doesn't have that shell appeal that I'm looking for. I gave him a little bit of that. Give him an eye. Look at that eye. It's a pretty good eye strike. This eye, not so much. I will revisit this guy, and I think I'm gonna do it the other way around. Have the legs come off of the bottom. That way I can get that real nice shell look. The head turned out all right. You can't complain about the head. So I went ahead and just put a little bit of wax on it just to help keep them from rusting. This guy will most likely stick out and stick indoors. Can't really see him hanging out outside. But I call it a halfway success. Let me know what you think about it in the comments. Is it a Derpal, or do you like the turtle? So I'll be posting the second version of the turtle. Alright, so if you liked this content, give me a thumbs up. I am going to revisit this. This is just a prototype. Just something fun to do. Sometimes when you go into stuff kind of blind like this, you come up with new concepts and new ways to do things. And it's always fun to give it a good effort. Try to come up with something different that you're not really comfortable with. So next time, we're going to give this guy a better chance. I don't think he would survive in the wilderness. But it's still a cool piece. As an art piece, it's still relatively neat looking, but especially how the legs come out. They come out of the bottom. They're kind of cool looking. All right, thank you very much for watching. Bye.